Okay, so in today's lesson we're looking at the key of A major, which has three sharps. If you recall, we've looked at C major, where there are no sharps or flats. We've looked at G major, where there is one sharp, and that's an F sharp. We've looked at D major, which has two sharps, which are F and C sharp. And we're now moving on to the next logical scale, which is A major. And in A major there are three sharps. So each scale takes on an extra sharp, as you can see. So A major has an F sharp, a C sharp and a G sharp. We're also introducing a new note into our notation vocabulary. That is the semi-breve. And a semi-breve is just kind of like a circle with no stick. And it's worth essentially 4 crotchet beats, a whole note, essentially the full bar. So we'll see how one of those works in a while. We're going to also be doing a nice chord progression in the scale of A major. We're going to do a 1, 2, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4, 1 progression, which I think will sound beautiful, and we're doing it in A major. So the 2 minor chords in there, the 2 chord is a B minor and the 3 chord is a C sharp minor. So we're going to be looking at that today, okay? We're also going to be looking at notes on the first string, the note names, the position on the stave, and don't forget the first string has exactly the same note names as the 6th string. So whatever you've learnt on the 6th string essentially is the same on the first string, just separated by 2 octaves distance, okay, higher pitched. So the first thing to start off with is a little bit of scale practice. So we'll start off with our first scale, the scale of C major, and we'll just do it in open position. So we'll count this, we'll call the notes out as we go. So C, D, open D, E, F, open G, A, open B and C. Now we could also play that scale this way. We could use this pattern: C, D, E, F, G, yeah, A, B and C. And that's just a 1 octave scale run in C major. No sharps or flats in there. So things to point out in that scale: the 1 note, the first degree is C there, the octave is there on the first fret of the 2nd string, and we know our positions of the 3rd. We know that that's a major 3rd. So the C to a E, the major 3rd. We know what a 4th is there, a C to an F. And we also know what a 5th is, which is there, a C to a G, or even the open G. And from then we can work out the rest of the note positions and the relationship to the 1 note. We've got the 6th there of the A, and we've got the major 7, which is a B, and the octave, which is a C. So to make the C major chord, you need a 1, a 3 and a 5 of that scale. That's all you need to make a major chord. So the 1 is C, the 3 is E there on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and the open G makes the 5th. So actually you don't need this first finger. So that is a C major triad, made up of the notes of C, E and G. You put that first finger on to add extra depth and well, just makes the chord bigger. You can actually play the E at the top as well. You could theoretically play them all. it wouldn't be appropriate really to play a C major in this way by using the bottom E string. That wouldn't give you the chord quality you're looking for. Right, so that's a C major. Let's play a G major scale. So we'll start G on the 3rd of the 6th. G, open A, B, C, open D, E, then you've got the F sharp, and to open G. Now you can also play that scale in the similar way to the second position I showed you for the C scale. So you could go G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and the G there. That's one octave. And again, the number of the scale degrees helps you to understand the chord structure. So if you want to play a G major, you need the G, the 1, and you need the 3. The 3 is B there. So G and B, and the 5 is going to be D. There's the 5 in that position, there's the 3, there's the 4. So to make a G major triad, you need the G, the B, and the open D. And that's the G major. Obviously, we put more fingers on to make a richer chord. We can put the G at the bottom down there on the 1st string, 3rd fret, and we can also put the D on the 2nd string, 3rd fret to add harmonic richness to it. So we end up with this big chord. Okay. Right. Then we looked at the scale of D major. So D major, dead straightforward, open D on the 4th string, D, E, F sharp, G, A, open B, then C sharp, and then finish on the D there on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. You can also play this scale in this position. So we go D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and C sharp there on the 6th of the 3rd string, and finish on the D there. So that D there, which is the 7th fret of the 3rd string, is the same as that D there, which is the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. That's the scale of D major. Now if you wanted to think of a chord, the major chord of D major would be 1, which would be D. Then we'd need the 3. So if we count the scale, D, E, F sharp is the 3. The 3 of D major is there. The 4 is there, and the 5 is A. So to make a D major chord, you would need the 1, D, the 3, F sharp, and the 5, A. Now, it's not a reasonable position to play that chord here. So you'll see the D chord generally played like that triangle shape, which basically has some of the notes switched into a different order so that they are playable on the guitar. So we've got the D there, open D. Then we've got this note here, which is actually the A. So the 5th is there. Then we've got another D, which is the same as that D, but an octave higher. And to top the chord off, we have the F sharp there, which actually is the 3rd. Doesn't matter about the order, because it creates the same chord. Then if we think of A major, which is the scale we want to work with today, A major is, well, if you basically, I'll talk about the circle of fifths in due course, but all you need to know at the minute is that the scale of A major has one extra sharp compared to D major, so it now has 3 sharps, and the sharps are F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So we need to be aware of those. So the scale of A major, if we start on the 5th, the open string, A, then B, then C sharp, then D, open D, E, then F sharp, then we need the G sharp. Open G is the next string below, so we put a first finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, G sharp, A. So A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A. Now if we apply chord theory to that, a major chord would have the 1, the 3 and the 5. So the 1 of A major is A, open A will do. The 3 of A major would be C sharp. Now C sharp is, if we use the A note, A string, C sharp is on the same string, so that's not practicable because you can't play that and the open string. So we'll find a C sharp elsewhere, and we find it, and the 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is E. So to make a C, an A major, you need the A, the C sharp and the E. So let's find them somewhere else. We'll keep the open A and we'll use that E there, which is the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Then underneath that we've got an A, which is on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, so we've got those two. And if we flatten our finger, or do that, we need to put our finger on that C sharp there, and basically allow the strings to ring, and try to let the E string, the top E string, ring out without touching it. You might find it easy to do that. Okay. So that's the scale of A major. So if we look at what that means in relation to chords and how we can make nice progressions, then we will use the scale of A major for that. And the progression we're going to use this evening is a 1, 2, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4, 1. So the 1 is A major, so let's put the A major on, that's your 1. The 2 is a B minor. B minor, there's your B. Minor shape on that 5th. When you're playing a minor on the 5th string root, which you are, 5th string, B, you use the same shape as you would A minor here in an open position, obviously just moved up. So that's B minor. Then our 4 is a D major. And then our 5 is an E major, open E major. And back to the 1, A major. And this time we're going to the 3, which is C sharp minor. C sharp is there on the 5th string, 4th fret. And the minor shape is the same as A minor in open position, C sharp minor. And to the 4, D. And finish off on the 5, on the 1A, sorry. So that plays like this, the 1, 2, 4, 5, back to 1, 3, 4, so 1 is A, B minor, D, E, A, C sharp minor, D major, and A. Okay, right, so what I would like us to do now is flip to the piece of music from page 16 as you've got. I'll try and work out how to get this on the screen if I can. So we've got a crotchet beat of A, there. A minim 2 beats worth of F sharp. Then a quaver, 2 quavers, one of E, open E, the top of E, and F sharp. So the first bar is played like this. It goes, so A to F sharp, so A for 1 beat, F sharp for 2 beats, E, F sharp for half a beat each. So that's the first bar again. And into the second bar, the introduction of the semi-breve, which is purely a circle or an oval of some sort, like a slightly flattened circle, and this is worth a full 4 beats. So you play the note once and let it ring for the entire bar. So the note we're playing is a D. So there's a D on the 2nd string 3rd fret, and that's the D we want on the stave. So we play that for 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the piece has a repeat, so we play it again. So I'll play the whole thing as it's written with the repeat. Okay. And on to the next thing I want us to look at, which is notes on the 1st string. Now the notes on the 1st string are open E, F on the 1st fret, 2nd fret F sharp, 3rd fret G, 4th fret G sharp, and 5th fret A. Now if you were looking at the stave, then these notes would be positioned on the stave with this description. So the open E would be in the very first space at the top of the stave. So it'd be just in the space beneath the top line. That would be E. The F here would be written on the top line of the stave. F sharp would either have a sharp sign next to it to denote that it's not F sharp because it's on the same line as F. So F and F sharp are written on the same line of the stave. Or the other way of knowing it would be an F sharp rather than F is that the key signature would tell you to play every F as an F sharp. In the case of A major, there are 3 sharp signs at the start of the music, and one of which is the F on the top line of the stave. Now that tells you that all the Fs in this piece, or the piece you're playing, would have to be sharps. And on to the G note. The G note is basically the first note above the stave, not on a line, right sitting on top of the stave in a space. And G sharp is in exactly the same position on the stave, except it would either have a sharp sign next to it to tell you it's not that, but it's that, or the key signature would have a sharp sign on the G note telling you that every G in that piece of music is to be played as a sharp. So let's try that again then. So E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and A sits on the very, if you have to put an extra line above the stave called a ledger line, and the A, that note there on the 5th fret of the 1st string, would sit exactly on that line. Now one of the things to do here is to not only know these positions for those notes, but also where they are elsewhere on the fretboard. So let's picture the E note, the top E. So 1st string open, no fret, is the same as the 5th fret 2nd string. There's just one has a slightly deeper sound. It isn't, it just seems deeper because more slightly feels more resonant. I'm slightly out of tune, by the way. Better. Then F would be on the 6th fret of the second string. Same as that. Same as that. F sharp would be on the 7th. Same note. And G would be on the 8th. And G sharp would be on the 9th. And A would be on the 10th. Now each of these notes is exactly the same pitch and has exactly the same position on the stave. There are other notes elsewhere. So for example, let's take the open E. It's also there on the 5th of the 2nd. It's also here on the 9th of the 3rd. It's also here on the 14th of the 4th. 14th of the 4th, 9th of the 3rd, 5th of the 2nd, and open E. It's also here on the 19th of the 5th. 19th of, you would never really play it up here. 19th of the 5th, 14th of the 4th, 9th of the 3rd, and 5th of the 2nd, and open. Now each of those notes is exactly the same pitch as each other and has exactly the same position on the stave, which is the E on the space at the top of the stave, in the first space from the top. Okay, so that's what we need to do today, guys. Thank you.